I know, I know. Oh, I missed you so much, Mr. Foxy. You do not understand how happy I am to finally be back with you. So much stuff got in the way, but it's all the good stuff. I guess that's what happens sometimes when your services are needed a lot. Hey, I know you folks. It's been a while. Hi everybody, it's Dr. Detroit here. The doctor is in. Okay, I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are probably wondering, where the heck have I been? And where the heck has VRchat101 been? Well, there's a good reason behind it. I decided that during the month of September and August and even some of October that we're filming in this right now, I was called in to be a director. I was called in to be a director or a co-director or even an actor for a lot of different projects, which some of them you guys will be seeing very soon. Others are going to be, well, let's just say that some of them are going to be way off into the future. Now, that doesn't mean that I hated the whole thing. I loved it because, that actually made me think of something. When you're a director for your own series or for somebody else's division, you have to know how to kind of share the ball, okay? It's very important to, share the ball and also have a very good friendship with your actors and whoever else is working on the project. So, in this VRchat101, which we're finally going to go back to, I'm going to show you all you young directors out there who are just starting to get your feet wet, how to be a good one, but also how to manage your time and also think on your toes. Because believe me, when you're a director, you're going to be doing that a lot. In a little segment I like to call How to Be a Good Director. Pretty simple title, isn't it? And by the way, too, this is our 100th video right here on the channel. So, woohoo! I wish we could have done so a little bit bigger for it, but you know what? That can happen. That can happen later on. But for now... Mr. Foxy, I know. But for now, roll the intro. Becoming a good director doesn't happen overnight. It takes a very long time to kind of have people see the way that you actually film. Being a director means that you're the one in charge. But here's the problem. A lot of people tend to have a little bit of trouble when they become the director. Because here's the thing. To shoot a movie or to shoot a video like in real life, you need, a director, you need a producer, you need camera people, sound people, actors, props, catering, and all that kind of jazz. But when it comes to shooting a VR chat video or something inside here, you need to make sure that you can rely on some good people, but also don't lose your heads, alright? Now, unlike, Michael Nesmith and Peter Tork back there, two of the members of the band The Monkees, rest in peace to them, these guys would be filming with their own camera and things like that. In fact, This is actually part of the music video to a song called A Little Bit of Me, A Little Bit of You. I'll put a link in the video description below so you guys can actually hear the song itself. But how do you become a good director? Well, it's not just from your content, it's also from your personality and your attitude. So you know what? I think it's time we mosey over to the red board, and I will show you the different ways. So, go into the red board, right about now. Wow. Okay. That's a first. I guess I must be a little bit rusty. You know, haven't done a VR chat in a long time. I said let's go to the red board right about now. Much better, much better. Hello there, red board. I haven't seen you in a very long time. Alrighty. So, let's go ahead and go over what makes for a good director and what makes a bad director. Now, when you first start out as a director for a series, there's a few things that you need to have in your back pocket. So let me grab my green pen here. Green for guacamole. First, you need a story. You need like a good story or a little outline of something that you know that you can actually, pull out to film. Now, you don't necessarily need to have the shots ready for it. Because here's the thing. Many different, things that are filmed come from a story idea. Or sometimes it may be something that you want to do a parody for. So a good director always has a story, whether it be unfinished or completed, to present to your actors, or to present to whatever it is that you're presenting it to. And there's the other thing too. A good director also needs this. He also needs actors if he is... Here, let's do it like this. There we go. He needs actors for his scenes. Because what is anything without some good actors? Now, there's a few things you gotta remember, especially when it comes to finding actors. Because here's the first thing you gotta know. First thing you gotta know is that are they going to be reliable? Are they going to be able to film to your schedule and be able to produce that type of, feeling that you need for that particular project? Also, you want to know a little bit more about them. You want to know if they are actually comfortable with being in front of the camera. Because you know what? Here's the thing. Okay, here, I'll let you in a little secret. Okay? Alright, here. Most people take filming jobs and other things like that here in VRchat without even realizing that they're going to be filmed. Too many people actually do that, and then it leads to some extremely awkward situations where all of a sudden you get ready to film, and then all of a sudden one person is like, yeah, no, I don't want to be filmed because it's against my astrology sign, or I don't consent to anything like this, yada 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 yada. That's when you have to throw them in the garbage. Because you planned this for so long, and now one of your actors decides to just simply bail. Now, if they have a good reason, if there's a good reason to bail, maybe because they're a little too busy in life, that's okay. Because now you just have to find somebody else to take their place, or write out that character. So, always good to have some actors. Another good thing that you should also have too, and this one is also really important, is location. We talked about this in the last VRchat101 that we did. How do you spell location? O-L-C-A. Yeah, there we go. That's what it is. For a second there I had to kind of pause for a second. Always good to have a good location wherever it may be, because who knows, maybe your project takes place at a shopping mall. Maybe it takes place on a map that is from a video game. Or maybe it takes place like on one of the Ferality worlds. I will tell you one interesting thing. The maps we use on a project called the Astro Boy Express that I filmed with Astro Boy Productions, if you guys haven't seen those, I'll leave another link in the video description below to his channel so you guys can see it. We use a lot of different locations. Sometimes we stay on the same location, other times we go to so many other locations. But it's always important to have the right location for the right setting. But sometimes it's cool to improvise a little bit. For example, let's say you have something like, well, how about a bar scene? Sure, there's so many bars, here on VRchat, but how many of them actually have the right aesthetic you're going for? Well, now you have to kind of go searching, in other words, urbexing, to kind of like find the right type and also find the one that best suits not only your vision, but also best suits what you're actually looking for to project on camera. And yes, of course, you gotta remember the red flags. We've talked about red flags before in the location video, and I think we even did it too in the Home is Where Your Avatar Rests video, which we did way back in time. Like way back in episode 3, I think it was? Man, so many episodes, so many times. And then this last one here, this is also very important. Friendship. So you gotta have a good friendship. Let's just put that in. You gotta have a good friendship with your actors and whoever else is helping you with this. There we go. Friendship is extremely important because just like how you have to have, a good friendship with the actors that, you select to be in your project, it's good to have a good friendship with the people that are helping you direct or write or even edit for that matter. Because here's the thing. You are not only going to be successful, but they're going to be successful as well too. In fact, let me give you a perfect example. You may have seen those videos outside of VRchat, those Gary's Mod videos, where people do like these different vocal dubs. Like they dub over something for like FNAF, or they overdub some Half-Life 2 stuff. Sometimes it's just a singular person. Other times it's multiple directors and multiple people who help make the story go around. So that's why you got to make sure that you actually have a good friendship. Otherwise, you're going to have some really bad problems. And believe me, it ain't pretty. It is not pretty when you got to break off one of those friendships. Sorry about that, everybody. I just need a little drink. For some reason, I'm a little bit dehydrated today. Here we go. Alright, I'll put that off to a side, and then I can drink more later. I just need a little something to wet my whistle. Okay, back to business. Now we gotta talk about the bad side of things. And let me tell you something. There's an awful lot of bad directors out there, and I don't mean, ones that make some, piss poor content and stuff. I'm talking like the ones who are the ones that you literally cut ties with. We talked about cutting ties in a previous video. So a bad director is one who is always angry. So let's go ahead and put this up here. In fact, you know what? Why don't we just go ahead and be hip with the others and just put Angie. So, an Angie director is a bad director. Because believe me, they can now, it's okay to be frustrated if a shot's not going the way you want it to. But the thing is that you technically don't want to take your anger out on, anybody else. Because see, here's the problem. If somebody's not getting that scene right, or you're not feeling it or something like that, then maybe you gotta stop and think about, how you presented the shot. And also how you talk to your actors or talk to your co-director. Believe me, There have been times where I have been a little bit pissed off because a shot didn't go the way I wanted to. In fact, do you know how many times that we had to shoot a specific scene for one of the Traveling Nardo episodes? Yeah, I was there because I was the one behind the camera while my brother Arlo was in front of the camera. He recently just came back from Monaco, and unfortunately he's a little bit under the weather right now, so speedy recovery, bro. And we were having such a hard time coming up with it that a lot of us got a little hot under the collar. But you gotta remember, all of us want to present it at the best way possible. Don't take your anger out on the actors, okay? Because that's a one-way ticket to losing your actors. Now, wait, where is my red? Here it is. So now the next thing that also makes a bad director is usually their story. Sometimes it might be something that's a bad story. So let's write that in really quick. There we go. Bad story. So what does it mean to have a bad story? Well, just like up here, if you have a well-written story that has a good beginning, middle, and end, then you're good to go. But a bad story usually has a lot of these elements to it, or lack thereof. First things first is that it doesn't have any conflict in there. There needs to be a little bit of conflict in there to kind of like help with the story. Also, what direction is it going in? Do you want it to be, a comedy, a drama, something? So you gotta know that. But the biggest thing that can also make a story bad is if you have no idea what the hell you're doing. And I'm going to admit, some of us sometimes have no idea what the heck we're doing when we actually go behind the camera. But the thing is, though, is that it's always good to have somebody next to you, somebody who has done this for a very long time, and actually knows how to take your story and make it better. In fact, wasn't that the lyrics to like a Beatles song? I think that was take a sad song and make it better. That was Hey Jude. And don't worry, people, we are not going to play Hey Jude by the Beatles in this video. So your ears are saved. Good song, but it's overplayed too much. Now, another thing too that makes for a bad director, and this is one that's personal to me. It would be not listening. So let's write that in here. Not listening. I used to write a lot quicker here, but for some reason I think I just been away from it. So there you go. So anyway, not listening. Bad directors usually end up not listening to their actors or to anybody else when they're trying to film something. And the biggest problem that can happen is very, very simple. Oftentimes, a bad listener means that A, they absolutely don't listen to their actors if they have suggestions, or they also don't listen to their crew. And not listening is one of the fastest ways to lose everybody. In fact, I'll tell you an interesting story. So, there's a production that I was a part of, and I'm not going to say the name of it because I think the thing got scrapped anyway, where I was one of the actors, alright? And the director was absolutely a pain in the ass. But here was the thing. I realized that he was trying to keep full control of the story, which is okay if you want to maintain that control. But again, it's always good to hear what your actor friends and your production crew have to say, because you know what? You might end up getting brain freeze, and you might not know exactly where else to take the story. So it's always good to listen. Now, here comes an even better part. a good friend of mine who has been in a bunch of VR chats. He was in the Cracker Island video. He was in the Do This Not That Stranger Edition video. He goes by he now goes by a new name. But here's the thing, though. We recently were filming together for something for his channel, and early on he was doing really good, but then he kind of suddenly had this weird thing where all of a sudden he kind of just thought that nothing was going right, and that he was wasting everybody's everybody's time. I'm here to say this, though. If you have a good friendship, again, going back to my list, let me go ahead and go off here and everything. If you have a good friendship, and if you have a good, rapport with your actors, friendship and everything like that, chances are everyone is going to be rooting for you because they want to see what the fruits of the labor, gets it. Sure, there's no money involved, but you know what's actually involved? The memories, the fun, the bloopers. I mean, you guys have probably seen the blooper reel that, came out a few days ago. And a bunch of cool things. So that's why, here's another thing. And this is actually something that I live by. In fact, let me see. Go ahead and bring my white thing out of here. I'll just go ahead and put this up here. It's something that I always live by, which is this. There we go. Don't give up. When you're filming and you think that you have exhausted every single thing about it, and you feel like you're at the end of your rope and you just are, bawling your eyes out and everything like that because it's a bigger production, I'm here to tell you this. Slow down. Slow it way down. And the other thing too, your friends will absolutely want you to keep going. And they know how much this project means to you. So, as long as you keep all the good stuff, then you'll be alright. Now, I'm going to erase everything behind me because there's one more thing that I should probably talk about. But as you can see, there's no more room here on my whiteboard. So, through the magic of editing, we now have our next subject, which is actually the last subject of this video. And that is how to think on your toes. Now, thinking on your toes means you gotta make split-second decisions while you're in the director's chair. So let's go ahead and whip up a little scenario here, because let me show you. So let's pretend for a second that all of these people here, including you are the director, these are your actors, and here is your story. Now, it could be a full-on script, it could be something in your head that you convey to people, or it could be a plethora of different things, but let me show you. So let's say that this is day one. So we'll go ahead and just put D1 here. There we go. So this is day one of the shoot. So you get everybody here, and at this point, you guys are right here, and your actors show up. And so on the first day, now you can actually see if the script or, your story is working. And lo and behold, you decide to film the very beginning to kind of like give the characters an idea as to, well, how everything works. So that means your story and script are now going downwards, which is good news because now you get into the next area, which is day number 2. So we'll go ahead and go here to day number 2. Now, day number 2 could be like immediately after day number 1, or, it kind of depends. Because again, here's the other thing you gotta know. Know your actors' schedules. Everybody has a completely different schedule from you. It's rare that some people will be off at the same time because, time zones are a thing. So let's say here in D2, you obviously are around. So we just put this right here. Actually, what am I doing? Hold on a second. Let me get that. Thank you, Mr. Foxy. I did not want to put a circle there. Thank you. Okay, back here to the green. Okay, here we go. So anyway, so you come down here, and now here you are at day number 2, and you have one of your actors here as well, so he comes in. But hang on a second, something bad has happened. Now you're down an actor because this one right here can't be there for day number 2 because that actor either has a doctor's appointment or has something family related that they gotta do, or maybe it's something, you know, like something that adults have to do. So that means you lose them for day number 2. But then you have this guy here who's kind of a question mark, and so he's either going to come or he's not going to show up. One of the things to keep in mind is this. Depending on which characters or whoever you actually are filming that are going to be in the show, or whatever you decide to do, you need to make sure that each one of those characters can be moved around. Because see, here's the thing. Let's say as a director, all 4 of you are in this script. Well, here's what happens. If all 4 of you can't be in the same script together, then that means that you're going to have to remove one. So I'm going to put R1 here. So you're going to actually, you know what? It's going to be a rewrite. So that means you got to rewrite your original script and rewrite your original story to accommodate for the missing actor. Alright, now, let's go ahead and go move over to day number 3. So now we head to day 3. And again, your guys' I am having all kinds of weird problems tonight. You see what happens when I don't do this almost every week? It's almost like I don't even know what the hell I'm doing, which truth be told, it's half the time. Anywho. So now you move on down to day number 3. And again, I know it's not going to take, 3 days or stuff to kind of like, make your production, but still it's going to be fine. So once again, you are now the one that's going to be, there. So go ahead and draw an arrow. So that means you're there. And this time around, the one that was not there suddenly is there. So now you have this actor, and this one over here is this actor. But then, what happens if your main actor isn't there? Now you have to kind of figure a few things out, because here's the other problem. If one of your main actors is completely unavailable, as in, they won't be there for a very long time, then that means this script over here is going to have to go under a major rewrite, or as I like to call it, an MRE. There we go. MRE stands for Major Rewrite. Now, you gotta figure out a few things. You gotta figure out where you can move your actors and other people. I just did an Elvis Presley just now. Yeah, I just literally shot my television because I was getting too many notifications. Actually, I didn't really shoot it. I just muted it. Now, where was I in this whole thing? Oh yeah. So anyway, as you go through and you continue to direct things, you got to make sure that you're ready to switch out ideas or try something new. Sometimes even just letting the camera roll and see what some people say might actually spark an idea. That's one of the reasons why I don't ever delete footage. Now I do to edit things together, like you see here, but I keep a lot of that footage for my personal library. This way, I can actually go back to it and pull out any ideas that people probably have said for either the video in question or something in the future. So that's why it's always good to not throw things away when they are on camera. So those are some of the ways that you, yourself, can use to become a good director and also have a good friendship among your friends and among your actors and also among your crew. you do that, and you produce something good, who knows? Maybe it'll be me that will come see your thing, and I'll bring the biggest bowl of popcorn that you've ever seen, and I'll be up at the front row to see what the heck you decide to put up. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this episode of VR Chat 101. My God, 100 videos, not 100 episodes though, but 100 videos here on this channel. It all started with the Ferality Umbra trip. That is so amazing, you know? God. Truth be told, I've never had a channel get over 100 videos on it, which I think that's awesome. Isn't it, Mr. Foxy? I missed you so much. Ever since I actually stopped filming for a bit, Mr. Foxy's put me under Fox rule, so I can't move. It's illegal for me to move. Thankfully, though, when I shot my television, I did go to the restroom. But that's going to do it for this episode of VR Chat 101. If you guys want to see more of this, make sure you hit the like button, don't forget to comment down below, and subscribe, and also hit that bell as well, so you guys can find out whenever I upload. And I'll see you all next time. And also, you know, I am thinking about the possibility of doing some more stuff besides VR Chat 101. Because, you know what, as we reach the end of the year, I got some ideas of my own. But you'll have to wait and see on those. So, until next time, everybody, take care.